These 4 things can make you a 4-0 in 4 months or less. The first thing that you want to do is prioritize your transition game. We know that as a serving team, after you serve, you and your partner are behind the baseline. So unless you have incredible drives or incredible offense to just win you points at the baseline, you're going to have to get up to the non-volley zone to create your offense from there. This is why getting through the transition zone and working on your transition game is super critical. When it comes to improving your transition game, there's 2 shots in particular that you're going to have to master. And that is, you guessed it, the third shot drop and the reset volley. Without these 2 shots, it's going to be very, very difficult for you and your partner to actually get up to that non-volley zone line. So I suggest that you actually block out time in your schedule or your drilling routine to actually practice resets in the transition. You'll notice here that I'm really low, my feet aren't moving, I'm very balanced, and I'm doing everything that I can to actually set that ball into the non-volley zone. Along with that, you want to make sure that you are actually practicing your drops from the baseline. Make sure that your partner is putting a lot of pressure on you, hitting with topspin, with underspin, and just making it really tough so that you're actually hitting realistic third shot drops. Once you have your third shot drops dialed in and also your reset shots, now you want to actually practice actively transitioning up from the baseline to the non-volley zone. So whether you use a drive for your initial third shot or a drop, you are going to be hitting resets at times in the middle of the transition zone, and you're going to utilize that reset volley to get you up to the net. So you can go out there with a partner, just do some simple transition drills where they feed you a very deep ball and you make your decision on that third shot drive initially, and then make sure you're coming up, split stepping so that you're nice and balanced in a good wide athletic stance, and then reset that ball and get up to the non-volley zone line and then practice that over and over. The second thing that you really want to focus on is your second and fourth shot. As players are getting more and more aggressive with their serves and also their drives, it's very important that we actually work on a nice deep return so that we can get up to that non-volley zone and be in a powerful and strong position up there with your partner. Now, as we know, lots of players are driving their third shots and they have a lot of topspin. So practicing that fourth shot volley is super critical as well. You have to be comfortable up here at the non-volley zone line and working on your fourth shot counters to try to keep your opponents back as much as possible. So one of the things that I've really added to my game is just practicing on my returns alone. So I will grab a partner or a friend and they will serve to me as hard as they can with as much topspin as I can. And I'm just focusing on the ball, on my contact point, and focusing on hitting that ball with my momentum, moving forward and getting that ball deep so that I can train that good return to put myself in the best position possible. The next thing that you can go out and do is isolate your fourth shot counters. So I will have a friend or a partner at the baseline driving the ball at me, and I will be practicing that very short, compact punch volley or push volley so that I am seeing the pace over and over and I'm getting used to the pace coming at me and me adjusting my short swings and punching that ball out so that when I'm actually receiving drives in a real game, I can consistently punch and push those balls at my opponent's feet. So I really like isolating those 2 skills that I need, the second shot and also the fourth shot. But what I like to do after that is put them together. So in this drill, I will have my partner serve the ball and I'm going to return the ball, and now they will always be hitting that third shot drive to try to catch me in transition and so that I can work on that fourth shot counter. So you'll see here many clips of me hitting that return, trying to get as close to the non-volley zone line as possible. You're gonna see me split stepping in a solid base and doing my best to really hit a strong counter towards that baseline. If you're actually struggling with your serve return and your fourth shot counters up at the non-volley zone, there's a high chance that you're probably struggling against players that like to drive and bang the ball really hard at you. If that's you, we created a free video on how to beat bangers. Go to crushbangers.com or go in the description below and start beating bangers today. The third thing that I recommend that you do for your game to really improve it is to identify your weaknesses. One of the things that I like to do frequently is film myself playing and then actually watch that footage back. This footage helps me understand where I need to grow and what my weaknesses are. And from there, now that I've identified those weaknesses, I can actually hone in those skills and practice them and make them a strength. I remember a while back when I was playing a lot of the left side and I was struggling with dinks that are hit towards my backhand over here. So what I would do is I would spend hours and hours honing in not only my slice dinks, but also developing two-handed topspin dinks so that I can have some consistent offense from the left side of the court when the ball is going towards my backhand. Whatever your weaknesses are, it's really important to actually set aside time in your calendar to actually work on them, practice them, isolate those skills so that they become second nature and that you can actually rely on them in a game or a match. The last thing that you want to keep in mind is to stop focusing on the fancy stuff. Now, we all know how fun and awesome it feels to hit that ATP or hit that Ernie or maybe that sneaky Kyle Yates shot when you're on the left side. But the truth is your fundamentals and the basics of the game is actually what's going to win you the most points. What I often see a lot of players practice is they practice these shots that actually are really tricky and have a high difficulty, but these are actually shots that they're not going to be using more than 10% of the time when they're playing on the court. So my recommendation is to really focus on the key fundamentals of the game. Work on your serves, work on your returns, obviously the transition game, which we talked about. And when you get up to the non-volley zone line, it's going to be a game of dinks, attacks, and counterattacks. I'm not saying that the Ernies, the ATPs, and all the trick shots aren't an important part of the game, but it is to your benefit to really hone in and practice the fundamental skills of the game so that you can actually put yourself on the winning side of the match. If you focus on these 4 things, you'll be a 4-0 in no time. Along with that, if you want to actually learn about 3 strategies that will beat 99% of players, click here. And if you want to beat bangers and crush them on the court, go to crushbangers.com or click the link here.